Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you. I like that. Thank you all so much for being with us here tonight as well as online to celebrate and participate in the first ever HUSTLE Demo Day. For those who are unfamiliar with the program, HUSTLE stands for Helping Upstate Science and Technology Leaders and Entrepreneurs. And we do this program because we believe in our hearts that upstate New York has all the potential to be the next technology mecca, a perfect home for tech startups to come and make an incredible life with leading edge research facilities, fantastic people like some of you that I see out here in the audience, a culture of grit and tenacity, a fabulous Air Force research laboratory that calls this place its home. And we at the Griffiss Institute are so proud to bring programs like this to life, to help the next generation of tech startups make their dreams a reality right here in the Mohawk Valley. So thanks to you all for being here tonight. Couple of items to cover before we get started. First of all, I was told I need to talk directly into the microphone. First of all, the products that you're going to see tonight, the program that you're going to see tonight, is the product of lucky 13 intense weeks of really hard work by a lot of people. The teams that you're going to see here tonight, all of the folks here in the room, as well as probably hundreds of other people who are not in this room. And it's special for so many reasons, not the least of which is how many volunteers got involved in this program, volunteered time and resources to help us make it happen. So I'd like to start there with a message of gratitude and thanks for all those who gave so generously of their time and resources. That starts with our partners at Rome Labs, the Air Force Research Laboratory Information Directorate, and I'll just ask to hold clapping till we get to the end because it's quite a list. So our partners at Rome Lab, New York State, thank you so much, Empire State Development and NYSERDA, Amazon Web Services that contributed resources, cloud credits, time, Assured Information Security, AIS, AX Enterprise, the Bonadio Group, Dreamweaver Law, Hage & Hage LLC, NSF Innovation Corps, National Security Innovation Network, or NSIN as we call them affectionately, the New York City Regional Innovation Network based at Columbia, NYSTAR, NYSTech, Patent Hacks, really cool technology, really cool program, Squadra Ventures, SUNY Research Foundation, Syracuse University's New York State Science and Technology Law Center, Upstate Capital Association of New York, and all of the mentors, speakers, and the Griffiss Institute team who work so diligently to make the program run. A special thank you to Dan Fayette, Seth Mulligan, Dory Placido, and our own John Liddy. And it's only with that much support that we can enable such a great representation of talent and technology here tonight. So please join me in a round of applause for all those folks. I have to say good luck to all the teams competing tonight, but this may sound a little bit cliche, but in my eyes, you really are all winners. We've watched you and grown alongside of you as we've built a new program, just like a startup, just as you are all getting your startups up and off the ground. Personally, and I'll say on behalf of the Griffiss Institute team, it has been an absolute pleasure getting to know all of you, being here for you when you struggled, and enjoying your successes with you along the way. So I'm really proud of all of you, no matter what happens tonight. And you will always have a home here at Innovar Advancement Center and in Rome. I want you to know that. Okay, now housekeeping notes. Please make sure to turn off all your electronics, just like we're at the movies. Tonight's event is being recorded and streamed, as I think you can tell. So if you're joining us online, please keep yourself muted. In case of an emergency, we're always safety and security first here at the GI. So there are 4 exits from this room. They should be relatively clear, 2 on each side of me and 2 behind you. If you exit, you'll proceed to the stairwell you came in, right in the front, and out the main doors of Innovar Advancement Center and gather in the parking lot. Now with that boring stuff set aside, there won't be any fires. So, except the fire that's gonna come off the team. So they're gonna present in a minute. So at this time, I'd like to welcome some special guests from our community who wanna say hello and welcome you. So we're gonna begin, if we could please, with our representative of the 119th District, our Assemblywoman, Miss Marianne Buttonshaw.
Thank you so much, Heather, and to the teams. I'm so glad you're here. I'm not sure if you're aware, my background is in academics, so this is just, for me to be here is just so exciting. To the experts in the front row here, they're going to smile. I feel like this is a tough crowd, but it's great. I know it is. I know John very well, so I know that he will smile through all the aspects. But your work, your dedication, your commitment, hearing the partners that have been involved in this wonderful academic, professional entrepreneurship journey is just unbelievable. As Heather was going through everyone, you're just saying to yourself, this is a wow. And it is. It's upstate wow. My counterpart in local government, the mayor that's always here to provide support, to the GI, to Innovari, to everyone that is on this community of technology that is moving forward. But I can't thank the teams enough for your dedication and commitment and willing to be a part of this, as innovation is what we're looking for and what we need in the future. We need to hear the great ideas you have, and as Heather stated, you always have a home here. New York State welcomes you. My colleagues at ESD that are here today, Mike and Allison, that I know are excited about working with you, as well as maybe providing a little support in a manner that will be very helpful. So to everyone, all the best, thank you. And to Heather and your team, as well as the guests that are here tonight and the experts in the front row here, I thank you for your time and energy. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblywoman. All right, up next, joining us to say a few words, as was rightfully introduced by my colleague, Assemblywoman Buttonshaw, is Rome, New York's very own mayor, the ever-supporting, ever-here, ever-present, ever-enthusiastic, Ms. Jackie Izzo.
Thank you, Heather. Too many words. Congratulations to all of you. This has been quite a journey, and tonight is the culmination of all of that. You know, the work that goes on here at this Business and Technology Park affects the national security of the entire country. And for you to want to possibly add something to that ecosystem, we applaud you and thank you for being here. We hope that you enjoyed your time in this area. And for those of you that might win, we are looking forward to seeing more of you as you nurture your business here. But even if you don't become the winner tonight, you're in a position where you've already won. You've made it this far. 13 weeks is a long time, and you're still standing. I believe your idea is probably better than it was when it started out. So really, this is just a culmination of, I think, a great experience for you. And thank you for being here. We've stood up Innovari a year and a half? A year and 1 month. Right, just a little over a year ago. So it's a beautiful facility. And we hope to host more of these types of activities. And we hope that you enjoyed our area and that we can see more of you after this. And best of luck to all of you tonight with your pitches. And thank all of you for being here and being so supportive, and especially my colleague, the Assemblywoman, representing New York State tonight, and Mike and Allison that are here from Empire State Development, because they have the check.
Mike and Allison, it's really important to recognize, really without Empire State Development and the support of NYSERDA, the division within, none of this would be made to happen, because they've gone on this journey with us to do the risky, crazy things that we believe are going to be successful to help grow the regional economy. So thank you so much for everything that you've done. And at this time, I'd love to welcome Mike Reese up to come and say a few words to everybody.
Promoted a strategy to create an ecosystem of advanced manufacturing, including cybersecurity and uncrewed aerial systems. Made up of people who live and work in our region, have supported investments in projects such as the Innovari Advancement Center, SkyGo, Griffiss Institute's Hotspot Incubator, as well as many cybersecurity companies. And this isn't happening by accident. It's because of a partnership between the federal, state, county, and local governments and the private sector that will transition this region to a technology economy. Missing piece that we saw was in this transformation was the lack of entrepreneurial development, and that's why Upstate State Development agreed to sponsor the HUSTLE Defense Accelerator Cohort to bring new ideas and concepts to the region, encouraging the exploration of STEM talent and defense technologies. HUSTLE Upstate Revitalization Initiative grant. Together, we continue to make smart investments and grow jobs and industries in the Mohawk Valley. On behalf of Governor Hochul and Commissioner Holden, thank you, and good luck to the 4 teams presenting this event this evening.
Okay, we did it. Sorry. Okay, thank you, Mike. That was great. And as I said, we're so grateful to Empire State Development, both for the financing, but all of your steadfast support all the time. Whenever you have a problem, you're always there for us, and we appreciate you. Next up, I'm really proud to introduce my dear colleague, Dr. Bryant Wysocki from the Air Force Research Laboratory, who's going to come up and welcome everyone on behalf of the government.
Thank you, Heather. So I just want to say it's really exciting to be back here for another outstanding event in upstate New York at Innovari. I think the technical contributions that entrepreneurs and young teams make, like what we're going to see here today, is critical for national defense. AFRL relies on our partnerships with small businesses and non-traditional performers. It's part of our culture. They bring innovation, key ideas, new ways of thinking. So I want to congratulate you for participating and being here, the teams. You really are the future of the U.S. economy, the regional economy, and national defense. So with the importance set, I think it's really important to note that this is not the end. Whether these teams win today, or not, this is just one mechanism in our arsenal of small business partnerships, right? So we have Mike Granero in the back, our small business lead, and we are committed to this relationship. We depend on this relationship. It's a part of our culture and who we are at AFRL. So I want to welcome the teams. I look forward to hearing the excellent pitches that you've worked on, and thanks to the community for building such a great ecosystem that AFRL just is happy to fit inside. So thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to the presentations.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Wysocki. So as I said at the outset, HUSTLE is more than a transitive verb. HUSTLE stands for Helping Upstate Science and Technology Leaders and Entrepreneurs. The accelerator program that this team has just come through is an elite and immersive, highly intensive accelerator program for seed stage tech startups with artificial intelligence and machine learning, cyber, quantum, and uncrewed, you like that new word? Uncrewed aerial, so not unmanned aerial solutions, uncrewed aerial solutions with dual use potential and the drive to elevate the United States national security and economic competitiveness. I have to say the teams who were with us this summer were definitely immersed into the rich legacy of the Mohawk Valley. I loved the photos. I wish I was with you at Fort Stanwix. It looks like you guys had an absolute blast. So they've been out and about in the community getting to know all of the riches that the Mohawk Valley has to offer, and I'm sure we'll hear from them along the way what they enjoyed about that. But it was really a pleasure. I have to say, as someone who grew up here in the Mohawk Valley, in all directness, left here after college thinking I didn't know what I was going to do with myself here, and then found myself back 20 years later. It was so gratifying and wonderful to hear these teams who have come from all over the place sing praises about how wonderful the Mohawk Valley is and how they can't believe all of the wonderful lifestyle that we enjoy here. So I wanted you all to hear that from me on their behalf. Okay. One of the big things that they focused on in the time that they were here, in addition to learning the Mohawk Valley and our landscape and working on their business models, developing new customers, figuring out how to really build a business, was networking with AFRL and understanding defense as a customer, which I think anyone who's been in that business can understand. I'm looking at Eva as an example. Anyone who's been in that business can understand how difficult it is to come in from the outside world and try to understand the jargon, the decision-making, all that exists in the behemoth that is the United States Department of Defense. So that was a huge aspect of the programming that they had with us this summer. Over the next hour, Each team is going to have no more than 10 minutes to deliver their pitch and answer any question posed by the judges. Our wonderful timekeeper and extraordinaire of many things, Mr. John Liddy, is going to keep us running properly, as he does with all of us day to day. And judging tonight, I'm going to introduce the rest of the group. I'm so honored to have in-house, first, Noah Simons, President and CEO of Upstate Capital Association of New York. If you've never worked with Noah, you should. I'll put it to you like that. I remember the first time I met Noah, she stood up in front of a room of totally disconnected stakeholders for the New York State Business Plan competition. And she wrangled a statewide group of hundreds of people, all rowing in different directions. And you have built that program to be something absolutely astounding. And we salute you for that, Noah, because that's an incredible contribution to Upstate New York. So thank you for doing that. Evaluel Rising, President and CEO of United Aircraft Technologies. Eva is actually a legacy, I guess, of our programming here at the Griffiss Institute, right? And funny enough, last night I got on a flight back from DC at 10:23 and had changed my clothes in the bathroom to get all my makeup off my face because I was getting home at 1 o'clock in the morning. And I throw my bag up top, and who do I sit down next to? But Eva. And so we had a beautiful midnight conversation in our pajamas on a flight last night. So we're so happy to have you back, Eva, and it was a great flight home last night. Mr. Brian Abbey is up next, CEO and founder at Mentis Technologies. Brian is like a staple of Griffiss Institute culture, and I remember when I first discovered the Griffiss Institute in another role, Brian rescued me on President's Day in a snowstorm, because anyone who knows me knows I leave my phone and bags and things in all sorts of random places, and I left it at the GI, and you came on a holiday and rescued me. So thank you for that, Brian, and thank you for being with us. Brad Banikowski, Entrepreneurship Navigator at Empire State Development. Welcome, Brad. Brad, I don't have a personal story about you yet, so we're going to have to make some trouble tonight so I can tell a personal story about you. But I actually think this is a really great role. I love that concept of the Entrepreneurship Navigator. Just like defense, New York has incredible resources, but they're hard to discover sometimes if you come in from the outside. That's your role, I think. And so I think that's a really cool title. So you think so too. So welcome and thank you for being with us. And finally, Dr. Bryant Wysocki, Associate Director and Tech Advisor with Air Force Research Laboratory Information Directorate, is the technical advisor to our HUSTLE judges tonight. So the team in this direction will be making our investment decision, and Brian is going to be the technical advisor that talks about the viability of the technology. That's right, you're not the last one, I'm sorry. This direction, though, is going to be the investment panel, sorry. And I'll say something personal about Brian. Brian is one of these rare people who is wildly intelligent, but is as kind as he is smart. You know people like that? That's Dr. Wysocki. So thank you, Dr. Wysocki, for being our technical advisor tonight. And I'm sorry, how could I forget Clayton? I didn't forget you, you're just last. But you're not least, Clayton. Clayton Besch, Director at New York State Innovation Venture Capital Fund. And Clayton is cool because he went to Hamilton College like me, so it's as simple as that. Okay, I will clam it. We're going to get moving. Are we ready? No. Okay. Are we really ready? Okay, I think we're ready. All right, we're going to go with these teams in alphabetical order. And first up, representing Cyberspara, is Gazanor Cambiz, who told me the first day we met on this site, when I told him my big vision, when I first talked to the HUSTLE team, and I told them my big vision for making this place a Disney World for scientists, engineers, and entrepreneurs, told me that he would be the Aladdin to my Disney World. So pretty good. So Cyberspara, please take it away. The floor is yours.
Hello. So the down goes down. Oh, the down didn't go down. Maybe it's up. Turn it off. Oh. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, did it work? Yeah. Pointed at me. Oh, I pointed at you. Awesome. Can you hear me? Yes? Oh, okay. Because I normally shout anyway, so if you can't hear me, it's all good. You're good? Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kambiz Ghazi-Noor. I'm CEO and founder of CyberSpara, and I'm professor of cybersecurity at SUNY Canton. We've been spending trillions of dollars on improving our cybersecurity tools, from IoT devices to even auditing. But we're still losing $16 billion a day to cybercrime. Why is that? Because bad guys, I should remember pointing at you. I am trying. Okay, there we go. Bad guys are basically targeting the weakest point in this ecosystem, which is the human. So I have two good examples for you. Trust me, I'm really, it's just, okay, there we go. So Robin Sage is a good example that this was created within 28 days. It's a fake account. Within 28 days, 550 government officials, service members, and contractors, they connected with her and leaked information there. Imagine if this was made by Russia or China or other adversaries. The other one is our military, our soldiers, unknowingly disclosed their information and sensitive information, geolocation, in our military base in Afghanistan. So the solution would be what? Stop using cyberspace. But guess what? The DoD actually encourages use of social media for the service members to share with everyone else their experience, okay? And there are many guidelines there, but there is no coherent method to actually teach cybersecurity and raise awareness. That's where we introduce Digital Pass, Digital Privacy and Security Simulator. It's an AI-powered simulator that basically puts the person in driver's seat. It's realistic, it's immersive, and the person can basically learn from their mistakes. We do not tell them what to do. We do not tell them what to do. They learn from their experience, and this is AI-enabled, web-based. We did numerous case studies, and only with one round of playing this minutes, they increased 30% in their awareness. We even went beyond that and let them have the perspective from the hacker, the bad guys, basically view. And that's where we let them be hackers, okay? And by the way, make no mistake, we're not just a training model. We are providing comprehensive and basically measurable performance to our customers as well. Yes, this is a national security matter, but at the same time, it's a business opportunity for CyberSpara. So we started from high schoolers, maturing humans, and we moved to DoD. And it's a brilliant $30-some billion market. We are looking closely into our competitors. As a matter of fact, Curricula just a month ago was acquired for $22 million, and they're just doing storytelling and videos, not even a simulator like that. How do we make money? 3 different platforms, 3 different ways. The platform itself, and also at the same time, we have customized services as well, like the content. We provide more analysis that's collected with our data platform, and some other stuff. Obviously, we're exploring. I am pressing this. Trust me. There we go. Our revenue, we're expecting $20 million for the first 5 years, and our customers are actually lining up, if this clicker works. And thanks to Griffiss Institute, Heather, we are actually in connection with Air Force, and we are signing CRADAs, and I'm excited to say that Digital Pass, we're trying to use it for information warfare in Playas, New Mexico. That's another good thing that we're doing. So obviously there are additional customers that we've identified, and we need to talk to in both Air Force and Defense, Department of Defense. We are committed to use the entire fund in Mohawk Valley. We are looking for sales, marketing people. We've talked to Thinkubator to acquire an office there. We have 3 basically, 6 to be precise. As we are speaking, we have 6 positions there. when it comes to timeline, we've done an amazing job. We've achieved a lot. We've worked with top firm companies. We've filed patent. We've had amazing support from SUNY. We did our NSF I-Core. We received another NSF grant this year. We are moving forward to expand our customers as in our next year. We have an amazing, diverse group of individuals. We are hiring new ones as well. Look at our amazing team. Thank you. Before I take questions, we just lost $100 million as I was speaking due to crime analysis. Thank you. So please give us that money to save the world. Yes, thank you.
Questions, judges?
Hi, Combis. Good to see you again.
Yes, good to see you again.
Yes. 2 questions.
Sure.
One around your patent, and then one around if you could describe what a security mental model is.
Very good questions.
Thank you.
Very good question. So the first one, quickly, I tend to keep it short to make sure all the judges can answer that. The patent. SUNY helped us. We filed the patent. We have an option signed, and we are going to sign a complete negotiating with SUNY for a license. Complete.
What's the primary claim in the patent?
The patent, I'm signed as the inventor, and this whole framework is being basically patented. So the entire technology, the AI behind it, obviously.
Oh,
and the second question was, what is the security mental model? I've been in this thing for over 20-some years. Whenever we ask quizzes and, these computer-based trainings and everything, people click, 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 click. We don't really know what happens up here. A lot of things we do is we try to look at their behavior. Look, see why they clicked when they click. So this is called a security mental model, which I'm not just a security specialist, but also working on AI and trying to understand what's wrong with people, why they do what they do.
That's a lifelong question.
Thank you. Thank you.
I had a question.
Yes.
So you said that you started discovering the Department of Defense as a potential customer. I saw you have phase 1 with AFWERX, correct?
That's correct. We submitted an effort, yes.
Okay. So what are your plans to expand into the DoD space, and what are you, in alongside with that, what are your plans to potentially grow this SBR and potentially get an MOU to get to the next step?
Excellent. Thank you so much for that question. So if you notice the previous, if this goes, I'm telling you, this doesn't like me. There we go. So if you notice, when we submitted the AFWERX, the CBER 1, we are looking to do this customer discovery. As you know, it is the customer discovery phase 1, to understand more and more on what DoD, Air Force in particular, requires. Once we can decode that, and once we can connect to more people, from there we can go to DoD. What DoD needs is proven record. They need data. It's not that they already don't have guidelines and stuff, but they need data. And if we can show it, if we have a successful, that's why we're doing CRADA and everything else. If you show a successful thing, then we can go to DoD.
And just a clarification, you
Sure.
submitted, it hasn't been awarded yet, no announcement has been.
No, we are
Okay.
submitting,
Okay.
yes, yes. As you know, the due was August, early August, I believe, for the AFWERX. Yes.
Do you have any tangible outcomes so far, and how are you measuring
Oh,
success?
yes. Thanks for that question. So you see when I talked about the hacker, we added hacker, that was direct feedback we got from the customers. Because we never thought about that. We thought, okay, you got to be a good guy to play in this ecosystem. And all of a sudden, our customers got back to us and say, how come we can't be the bad guy? Sure, yeah, that's actually, it's called role reversal. That's something we learned. The other thing we learned was the security mental model that I was talking about. All these computer-based trainings, I mean, we are all guilty of that. Click, 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 next. Oh, I got 75% of it done. That doesn't tell us much information. We need to get inside the brains of individuals of our customers. And that's what the hackers do, by the way. The adversary gets into our brain to get us. And then the experience we got in our team helps us, because we have digital media specialists, we have not just a cybersecurity person, we have a whole bunch of team that helps us with that. Did I answer your question?
Yes, but I have a follow-up too.
Sure, yes.
So how are you measuring success, and what do you consider success?
Very good. And I said, for instance, 30% increase. You remember I saw that in there. So how do we get that? We do pre-simulation, like any other simulation, and post interviews, and we look at because the entire platform logs everything. Like, we see that, okay, this person got a phishing scam or something. What happened? Did they went and change their password and so this is how we can success the platform itself. If you're talking about the success of the whole thing in the market, we look to see with the growth, obviously. The growth of our, how many champions we can have on board, because once we have the champions in this market, the rest would follow. As you know this market very well, it's hard to penetrate, but once you're there and you can have more people on board, then that would be a good thing. Thank you for your question.
I was curious,
yes,
are
please.
the scenarios generic, or are they going to be unique for each of your various
So these scenarios are actually, it's a really, really interesting thing. The platform itself is completely orthogonal to the scenarios that you will see. The scenarios are loaded into the system. That's why it's easy for us to go from one segment to another, because for instance, like later on, we can look into healthcare with HIPAA and stuff that we constantly work on. But for now, we're just focusing on this, obviously. So not two games are similar to each other. Every time you interact with this simulator, because we have the AI behind it, and we have this amazing scenario builder, we can give it to any individual or any organization without prior training, because it's simply just drag and drop. By the way, we have the demo here on my colleague's laptop in case you're interested to look at it and see how it is. Because it is phenomenal. I mean, I shouldn't say I'm biased, but it is phenomenal. But with this whole drag and drop, you all of a sudden feel that, oh, that was easy to modify a scenario. Whereas when we did our customer discovery and talked to service members or individuals through AFRL, we noticed that it's so static, the current thing. It's so unengaging, and it just doesn't tell us the information we want to. I hate to say that. It's like that I accept that we click on and no one reads that. And that is the problem we have. Robin Sage was the example that it's just out of this world.
Thank you, Combies.
You're welcome. Thank you.
The judges will take a couple minutes to write some notes, and then we'll have Kevin up from McGurk.
We're going to give everybody a minute to tabulate scores. Thank you, CyberSpara. While our judges put together their scores, we're going to play some trivia. How fun is that? So in 2010, the United States Air Force, and when I say the United States Air Force, I'm referring to the Air Force Research Laboratory Information Directorate, otherwise known as Rome Lab locally, used how many PlayStation 3 consoles to build a supercomputer for the Department of Defense? And we're going to do this Price is Right style. So you think about it for a minute, but you got to get as close as you can to the exact number without going over. I'll give everybody a second. All right, what do we think? T, give me a guess. 50. Good guess. Dr. McKnight, I see you mumbling. What do you got? 3,000? $127, okay. Any more guesses? What are we giving away? Cool. Any more guesses? $299, okay. Pretty cool. I bet that's a sight to behold, too. All right, who won? Who's got it? We're good to go? Okay, who won? Who came the closest? I think 512. 512? Dr. McKnight. No? No. We're doing a really poor job of tracking the answers. Noted for the next round. Pay more attention to answers. All right, you guys ready? Got scores tabulated? Okay. Next up to pitch is Kevin McGurk of McGurk USA. Kevin, come on up.
Okay. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry for the Darth Vader breathing, sorry. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin McGurk from McGurk USA, and I'll brief you now on our plan to use artificial intelligence to accelerate assessing IoT risk and the Air Force assessment and authorization process, and how that's going to apply to IoT devices and drone audits. Oh, I'm going backwards. Sorry about that. Now down. Next slide. Okay. So I founded McGurk USA in Maine in 2019 after leaving my position as a cybersecurity director at KPMG. And our firm helps banks, law firms, tech startups, and defense contractors demonstrate the required due care and due diligence in cyber securing confidential information. And we've made $300,000 conducting this business, demonstrating a proven path to market and a customer valued business model for our prototype system. We partnered with Quanterion here in the Mohawk Valley to submit an IoT SIBR to the AFRL in June of 2022. Quanterion has an impressive cyber and policy leadership track record in the intelligence community, the Defense Department, and IoT testing capabilities that they're developing in the IoT Living Lab. Both firms also have considerable expertise in military drone engineering and operations and cyber risk with DARPA, the drone testing range here at Griffiss, with the State Department abroad, and my time with Medusa, the Air Force's counter-drone program. So what we're trying to do is launch a joint venture here in the Mohawk Valley and create a C corporation, MZGP, to attract capital investment and develop a 55-plus workforce to build, scale, and maintain an AI virtual CISO capability. We're doing that because the Air Force needs to shorten the current technology adoption timeline to preserve their air supremacy that they've held since 1945. The current assessment and authorization process required by all Air Force programs takes 9 months on average to complete with experienced cyber staff. Rework and incomplete paperwork can double that assessment and lead to overruns in cost, schedule, and human capital. Similarly, shortage in highly qualified cyber risk management staff also is contributing to the authorization backlog. There's another problem, with the Internet of Things. There are currently 12 billion Internet of Things devices, and that's predicted to double by 2024. I'm having problems advancing here. The IoT is pervasive across the Defense Department, and DoD is very concerned that adversaries could turn these devices against us for targeting, providing fake sensor data, or disrupting communications. So effective IoT assessment and mitigation is critical. What we're going to do in phase 1 is digitize the expertise of 6 cyber experts to develop a virtual CISO capability as a force multiplier. This will provide guidance, advice, and best practice information to all users working this problem. And it will provide also an actionable single-screen dashboard that consolidates gap mitigation, cyber and counterintelligence threats, and hardening recommendations, instead of going to 7 to 10 different sources and systems. What you see here in the OV1 illustrates the prototype in Air Force risk management AI framework scope and development process. Now sorry, I went a little fast there. In phase 2, we're going to use the same approach that we did with IoT lessons learned and generate the gap findings and cyber assessment evidence within 75% accuracy. We feel the benefits, okay, if I can, sorry, I'm having a little trouble with the clicker today. We feel that the benefits will basically simplify the process, increase accuracy, increase security awareness and the culture, and the resiliency and efficiency gains will support presidential cyber and supply chain executive orders to strengthen the U.S. critical infrastructure. Our competitive advantage is to use the artificial intelligence to speed up both the IoT and the assessment process and provide that single pane of glass view of all that threat and mitigation step. Stephen Wood is a patent attorney and founding advisor. He's going to ensure that we protect our inventions with appropriate IPs. The business model is a $75,000 annual cloud subscription for each assessment and authorization, about half the cost of a cyber engineer. Enterprise licensing is still being worked out, but on-site assistance is available. As you can see in the finance and milestones slide, we've had a pretty successful summer collaborating with the Air Force Research Laboratory in Mission Assurance and the IoT Living Lab leads. That helped us secure an AFRL letter of support, and we'll be proceeding to creative discussions. Most of the rest of the year in phase 1 will be spent developing and testing the IoT prototype, which will build the basic rules engine. Phase 2, And we're ready for questions.
Sure. How far are you from prototyping?
We are in basically requirements phase. What you're seeing is my colleagues want to form a C corporation to clone me and clone their expertise throughout business and government and be able to offer this to the Air Force. So we're going to have to stand up the prototype probably about 9 months away.
Yeah, how do you see your prototype working? As if I go stand in front of it, is it on a computer? Is it
It's basically going to be kind of questionnaire based. The best example that really kind of tailor fits this is it'll work like TurboTax. So there's going to be a lot of questions because when you're dealing with this new IoT documentation that just came out from NIST, they're going to be looking for technical guidance, and they're also going to be looking for some operational and institutional guidance to go along with that. But all of those cross-map into the NIST security controls. So being able to translate that, because that's all going to then slide into the Air Force assessment and authorization methodology. And if you're dealing with weapon systems, you're also going to have to deal with like the critical resiliency of weapon systems overlay as well. So we have that expertise, and we've done big government and big business consulting. So we feel that once we get through the Air Force side, and the Air Force is our principal and primary target, and Space Force to help them rapidly adopt this technology and make sure their assessment packages are tight, we feel that we can then take this and do the same thing in the defense industrial base immediately with CMMC. Then pivot again and do that for ISO 27001. And I'm routinely assessing large banks a little further south from here on the Hudson. So we feel that we can implement that for banking as well.
I have a question.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
looking at your business model, have you tested it within the market yet? Have you tested the pricing point?
We have not tested the pricing point, but we've looked at the GSA schedule, and I was myself a defense contractor at Hanscom, and this is basically half my salary. So what we're going to be able to do is provide a considerable amount of cyber security expertise, not just only in the assessment, but how to do vulnerability management and what's the best practicing guidance around asset management, which you normally don't get. You normally will have a cyber engineer that may be good in resiliency, but they may not be so good in planning or risk management. And we'll be able to work the entire waterfront there and provide kind of like little nuggets of help as you're answering questions or you're going through what we call the security control. The other thing that we want to be able to do is generate through the question of intake information and being able to use programming interfaces out to databases or systems. We want to be able to generate paperwork within 75% of accuracy. So that kind of helps them along, so the rework phase will be diminished as well.
I'm curious, who exactly are you selling to, and will you have to increase your resources to touch all those individuals and organizations?
What we're going to try to do, I can rewind the slides here, but our approach is to try to get some seed funding, and then through round A and B, go up to $20 million. So we're going to try to sell to 266 programs throughout the Air Force and the Space Force. And I grew up, I'm an Air Force brat, so my mom and dad were both Air Force, so, and when I was a special agent, I was paid by the Air Force and the intelligence community. So we're going to take care of the Air Force first, but year 3, we want to be able to break out into the intelligence community, because I learned all of this security control work in the federal government as a counterintelligence cyber special agent. So I worked under ICD 503 at the top secret level to put the initial IC cloud, the top secret cloud in 2012 and 2013.
So it'll cost $20 million to clone you enough to cover...
Well, not just me, there's 6 of us. So, you know, you're not getting a baker's dozen, but you got a mean half dozen.
Hi, thanks
Yes,
for the
ma'am.
presentation. I am curious to understand your team in a little bit more depth. So when you think, and specifically, I think you said 9 months to Brad's question about your timeline to prototype. Between now and 6 months from now, who is doing what job to start this cloning process?
We have a couple of architects that have worked cybersecurity from a Special Security Operations Center, offensive and defensive cyber. And then we have a Wall Street specialist in vulnerability management and automation. So this individual was a automation architect that could patch 500,000 assets from a large rating company in 30 minutes. So we want to be able to take some of the best of that knowledge and put that together. And both of those individuals are used to running software engines. So our game plan is to put this, because we're going to have a lot of Air Force sensitive information, through the Kessel Run to get our CATO and put it on Platform 1. So our vulnerability information, which is compiled, will be protected. We're going to be recruiting a couple of data scientists, data engineers, and developers to handle front end, back end on that. And the goal for this is to be able to build that engine and to literally interview us until we're, you know, shriveled up like a chili in the sun. And we have to go through literally every practical use case so that we can digitally recreate the CATO experience.
Could you give me an example of a use case just to sort of make this?
So a use case would be like to review an asset inventory and to review how accurate that asset inventory is and how it is classifying the impact of an asset, like a server or a database. You know, is it properly classified? How much information could cause grave harm to an organization? And then what's the likelihood and the resilience? So that sort of thing, just in asset alone, is critical, because if you don't do asset management well, you won't deliver IT, and your cyber program is in big trouble.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Nice job, Kevin. Thank you. All right, round 2 of Tech Trivia. We love our acronyms in the Department of Defense, as I think everybody knows. So when you go sign on and you try to purchase something or participate in something online, and you see the picture of 9 blocks, and it says, how many of these have a boat or a stop sign? And you can't see any of it because it's so blurry, and you do it wrong 3 times. At least that's what I do every time I see a CAPTCHA. What does CAPTCHA stand for? You're working really hard at this, I see. What do you got? Go for it. Say it again. Louder. No. It's a true acronym, a long one, but it's a true acronym all the way through. It's a tough one. Oh, go for it. You must be a marketing guru. That's pretty good. It's not it, but that was really good. Any more guesses? It's a tough one. I think Felix is Googling. You can't cheat. I see you. All right. Should I let it play? Oh. Okay, go for it. Completely automatic public turning test to tell computers and humans apart. I can't believe we didn't guess that. All right. Up next, we're good to go, right? Okay, up next, Ms. Catherine Forrest from Sequins is going to come up and dazzle us with her pitch. Come on, Catherine.
Check, check. Can anybody hear me? We're good? Can you hear me all right? Okay, sorry, I wasn't projecting enough. Right. Hello, my name is Catherine Forrest, and I am the founder and CEO of Sequins. Can you hear Can you pause it for 1 second? I knew that was going to be annoying, so just put that in there. Dangly earrings, not a good day for that. Hello, my name is Catherine Forrest, and I'm the founder and CEO of Sequins. And the team at Sequins was formed to help solve some of your organization's most pressing issues with our data-informed solutions. For centuries, some of the most valuable resources were oil and gold, but today, one of the most valuable resources is, you guessed it, data. When wielded correctly, data is an incredibly powerful tool that transforms the way that we understand and deliver value to our customers. However, large volumes of data can be very complex to manage, monitor, and maintain. Oftentimes, organizations don't have the talent or tools necessary to grapple with these large amounts of data, making operationalizing it to meet and exceed business needs time-consuming and complex. Across many sectors such as semiconductor manufacturing, infrastructure modernization, drone commercialization, agriculture, and metal and electronic recycling are still suffering from these data inefficiency bottlenecks. These are all examples of industries that would greatly benefit from digital twins. So for those of you who don't know, a digital twin is a digital copy of a physical object, system, or process powered by real-time data. And we at Sequins like to say that digital twins provide data with context. Sequins builds secure digital twins to aid businesses in performance optimization by giving them a consolidated view and analysis of their data. The data's relationship to its physical counterpart and its ability to, in real time, show the different changes is what truly makes it so powerful. Our twins serve as a single view of truth, giving decision makers these advantages, which are going to lead to an increase in profitability and reliability, as well as empowered teams to create credible what-if scenarios rooted in ground truth rather than going off of gut feeling or instinct. Our customers can view our twins via our web portal, or we can integrate them into any existing system via RESTful API. Our current path to market is to be contracting with consulting firms that are looking to expand their capabilities portfolio by integrating high-fidelity digital twins. Instead of spending around 6 to 18 months building up a team internally, with us, they can accelerate their path to the digital twin market, which is expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of over 60%. We're excited to share that we've connected with 2 potential early adopters. New Air is a nonprofit organization that aids in the commercialization of drone technology, and we're talking with them about creating a digital twin of the drone corridor that's located right next to us. And Ghost Fruit is an organization that gathers, maintains, and provides Bitcoin mining units for their customers. And so they want us to create digital twins of these mining units so their customers can get real-time analytics. The team at Sequens has a consolidated 15 years of experience developing end-to-end SaaS solutions. When we say we are digital twin architects, we mean it. The team at Sequens takes your fragmented processes and ties them together into digital threads to give your components context in a tight and secure end-to-end design. Here we have our amazing suite of academic, government, and industry partners who we are actively working with to bring new meaning to connected systems. Here you can see our milestones and use of proceeds over the next 12 months. And we're currently in the process of finalizing a cooperative research and development agreement with the IoT Living Lab, which is going to propel us to being prepared for applying to these upcoming SBIRs 22.4 and so on. This IoT Living Lab is also an environment where we can grow and test. And at Sequens, we want to build the most ideal digital twin platform, and we understand that we need to get hands-on experience with customers to see exactly what their needs are so we can deliver that solution and not deliver a solution that's built on our assumptions of their needs. As the saying goes, all roads lead to Rome. And being rooted in the Mohawk Valley enables us as young entrepreneurs the support and opportunities to build an amazing and dynamic and scalable empire on digital twins. If you are interested, we would love to have you along for the journey. Thank you so much.
So how are you integrating? So do you consider yourself as a use case for integrating into like computational fluid dynamics?
To be completely honest, I am not super familiar with computational fluid dynamics. So that, within an existing system, are you saying that area of?
So there's software that simulate like airflow over an object, things like that.
Okay, yeah, okay, definitely. So if you're talking about aerospace, I mean, we can essentially get any sensor. I mean, we can build digital twins around virtually anything. If a sensor picks it up, we can integrate it and build a model and flow it through a digital twin.
I think my question, or
some use cases. So for example, let's say I have a building, right? And I want to be optimizing my energy within this is just a really baseline example in like a building, right? So you may have temperature sensors. So essentially, if someone were to open a door and it were to get hot, right? Automatically the HVAC unit would come on. Let's say I want to understand which doors within my building are open and closed, right, for security reasons. So we can plug in all of these sensors to get real-time insights on a variety of different systems. If it was working with the drone corridor, for example, we can take in sensors along that corridor. We can take in data coming in from the drone itself. And what we're really trying to do is trying to create a digital replica of a certain environment, right? Or an object or a process or a system.
That's a better way to put my question was you're replicating environments, not just objects.
No, it could be a physical object, it could be a process, or it could be a system. It could be something totally intangible. As long as there's data, we can make a digital twin out of it.
Has your team done a prototype, or instead of taking on the corridor, is there a smaller project you've done, or you've?
Yeah, so we've built digital twins in the past. As an undergraduate, my research was based on building a digital twin of a mobile early warning ultra circlos lab. It was used at Syracuse University to test COVID use cases, and the other interested potential partner with the crypto mining units, that would probably be something a little bit smaller and more tangible. And we've been working on building prototypes for the past 7 months. in those different areas in different projects. So we would probably initially use that mining unit as a test case and then scale to the corridor.
Hi, good to see you again. And it sounds like you've made a lot of progress this summer, so congratulations. I'm curious, as you've been developing your business, have you had an opportunity to really think about the killer app, the low-hanging fruit? Where could you make the most money the fastest with the least investment from a business model perspective?
It's a really good question. I think that's something that we had been toying with for so long and trying to understand how we can get investors an immediate return on their investment. And I think what we've found is that the semiconductor manufacturing industry has a slurry of problems, right? And the solutions don't always need to be the most complicated thing ever. Sometimes you walk in and you're like, this guy's been taking this data down on paper, maybe we should put in a sensor and optimize that process. But so I think that potentially the supply chain would be a good application, and semiconductor manufacturing fabrication.
Thank you.
I noticed that the team, and it flashback, so I didn't read everyone's CV as close as I should have. What sort of other people do you see adding to your team, and who do you think you need to do next?
I mean, I think that as a team, we're in a really fantastic spot, and given the support we have from our partner network, which serves as mentors to help us fill in the gaps. For example, Quantarian Solutions are great security mentors, right, that can help us bring that piece. The Autonomy Institute is this similar type of project, but they're doing it in Texas, and US Ignite with smart bases and smart facilities. So I think going forward, talent is one of the most important pieces, and I can see that we definitely want to bring on some individuals that specialize in data science, engineering, bringing in automation. We actually have people in mind. They're not on the slide yet because we can't pay them. But once we have money, which is a really good reason, right, so we could have them come. But we also really value difference in perspectives, as you can see from the slide of our team. We don't all look the same and we don't all come from the same backgrounds, and that has made us incredibly powerful when it comes to problem solving, coming at it with different perspectives. So I think we're in a great spot, and we're excited to continue to build.
Could I ask another question?
Sure.
Okay, great. If you got $100,000 today, what would you do with it? What are the next 3 things that you would achieve? What are the next couple of milestones you might hit with that kind of investment?
With that type of investment, we would be able to take so many action steps in ways that we have not yet been able to, gathering resources to accelerate the production of those prototypes. I think that computing resources are pretty expensive, and if we go to if you could hit that, obviously bringing in consultation and contract reviewing from legal is an expense that we've dealt with a lot of overhead, and that way we can be prepared for looking at provisional patents and further IP going forward. And I really think that securing talent is a huge piece, and I would like to be able to offer a small, taste to one of our clients, and that would actually accelerate working with the drone corridor here. So they've conveyed to us, they were like, we need to think about where this money would be coming from, and then if we could supplement that. Same with SBIRs, they don't just hand you a check. So if we could, we would really, really need that money to be able to engage in those SBIRs. Thank you.
I have a final question. So I understand that you are building a creator right now and moving forward. So digital twin is becoming very popular, especially in the DoD space.
Sure.
Can you explain how you are slightly different from other companies that are trying to enter in that space right now in order what you can offer to the DoD?
Yes. Digital twins is a massive buzzword to the point that I'm honestly tired of it. And really what differentiates us is that it's that security piece to me. We're incredibly passionate about being able to provide these services and have our customers understand that their data is protected. In our past experience, the research grants that Abdullah and I worked on, we did data ethics and management frameworks with digital twins in particular and access control. And with our suite of advisors, I really think that we can offer this in a way that is dynamic and will differentiate us from all the competition. I also have a lot of background in, get ready for another buzzword, blockchain. And there's a lot of buzz around it, but my mentorship from my mentor, Dr. Lee McKnight, who's been in this realm for such a long time, he really taught me, how can we use this powerful technology to validate and secure systems. So we can bring in a bunch of different pieces that are gonna set us apart a little bit differently. And I think the way we're going at it, we wanna be lean and agile, and we're not afraid to pivot. We're gonna, whatever we can do to be successful, we will be doing. So I think that sitting down with customers and really understanding what their needs are, massive companies can't do that. And they don't care to do that when they can just throw money at different problems. We want to sit and we want to listen to our users and understand, okay, what do they need, not what do we think they need. So that's how we intend to build.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you.
Great job, Catherine. Thank you. Okay. One more round of tech trivia while our judges tabulate the scores. It's estimated that digital technology could reduce global carbon emissions by what percentage by 2030? Great bridge for ThermoAI, actually, but you don't get to answer, Aiden. What percentage by 2030? What do we think? Give it a guess. 40? What else? 50? 40, 50. Anthony, what do you got? 10, 20. All right, let's see it. What's the answer? 20%. Who had 20? All right, you're the winner. Nice job. We'll give the judges one more. Good, John? No, you're fine. Stay put, Carolina, you're fine. I'm just giving them a minute to finish scores. Ready to rock, Aiden?
Ready.
Okay. Good to go? All right. Our final team pitching tonight with the coolest dog award for the summer, for sure, is ThermoAI. Aiden Livingston, please take it away.
Hi, I'm Aiden Livingston, the founder and CEO of ThermoAI, and our patent-pending combustion optimization AI literally pays companies to reduce their emissions. But don't take my word for it. Let's see it in action. With the press of a single button, we are able to cut emissions by up to 50% and increase fuel efficiency by up to 20%. So you know what compelled me to take on this problem? It's when I learned that power plants operate at only 33% efficiency on average, meaning 2/3 of the energy in the system is wasted. So why is that? Well, here's a quote from an engineer at one of our pilots, showing they operate at the same setting year-round. Because on average, that is best. The problem is, averages are not very helpful in optimizing any system. Take the weather in Rome as an example. Sure, it might be 65 degrees on average, but that doesn't mean you should wear a light jacket every day. Look, assuming you survive, the vast majority of the year, you would not be very comfortable. The same thing applies for combustion. Everything changes the exact chemical reaction. The weather, the humidity, the fuel quality, the state of the equipment, but current controls keep the same setting all the time. So how does our AI do better? We take the historical sensor data to find the best settings to achieve near perfect combustion in real time. So instead of tuning their system once a year, our AI tunes it every 10 seconds for maximum efficiency gains. So let me tell you about the amazing team who's making this all possible. I'm a twice-published author with over 15 years experience starting and scaling companies and 4 successful exits. Catalina Chavez is a chemical engineer, a sustainable energy researcher, and one of the leading experts in industrial automation. And David Watson is a Ph.D. in machine learning from Oxford University. He's presented at MIT, and he is a member of the Alan Turing Institute for Leaders in AI Technology. And our rapidly growing team includes many of the top data scientists from the SUNY system, including experts in AI, combustion, and enterprise tech sales. And thanks to $225,000 from NSF and a $1 million grand prize from winning 76 West, we have already created 11 new jobs in upstate New York. So during our work with various customers, we have explored different business models, and we found that the ESCO model works best. And leveraging our channel partners, we have already engaged with over 100 companies, and they are excited about our AI. In fact, here are real numbers from one of our customers. So at this facility, they spend $18.7 million in fuel every year. Our AI would save that facility $4.6 million, meaning our performance fee of 30% would equal $1.4 million in recurring revenue for ThermoAI. And that is just one facility. In total, this company spends over $337 million every year in fuel. And they have indicated a clear interest in deploying our AI throughout their facilities. But as impressive as these numbers are, the Air Force actually consumes more fuel than all of these customers combined. In fact, our AI would save the Air Force over 600 million gallons of fuel every year. For context, that's roughly the amount of fuel that was used to fight the entire Gulf War. Our first focus is on facilities, so that's roughly 17% of that. But that is still over 100 million gallons of fuel saved every year. And we are well on our way to deploy our AI throughout the Air Force. We are currently setting up a public-facing demo of our AI at the Living Lab right here at Griffiss as a showcase for new potential customers. And we are officially onboarding the DoD as a customer by starting a pilot on the biomass boiler that powers this very base. And we just submitted 2 new SIPR proposals to help create even more jobs right here in the Mohawk Valley. And thanks to an investment match from a previous grant, any investment over $125,000 will unlock a multiplier effect, meaning more funds for us to grow our team and tech right here in the Mohawk Valley. So there's an old saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And thanks to everyone in this room, I believe we have found the perfect tribe to help ThermoAI and the Air Force go far together in making Rome a global hub for innovative new AI. Thank you.
Good to see you, Aiden. I am wondering if you could talk about the milestones that you achieved with the 76 West prize that you won.
Absolutely. I mean, so since we got here, so we only got here about 9 months ago, and the community has just been fantastic. The thing I love so much about the community here in upstate New York is really, I feel like, so I lived in the city for many years, and I feel like everybody's, what's in it for me? Here, people really do, how do I help? And we have really felt that. So already we're setting up a pilot at Binghamton University, which is going to be public-facing, and that's also biomass by great serendipity. And I think those public-facing ones, because most of our advanced clients, we get into NDA and then we can't really talk about it. These public-facing ones are really what we need to accelerate our growth. That and then all the hires. So it has been a fantastic community, and really to the HUSTLE program as well. I mean, it's been great. This is the support we need. It takes a village to raise a startup.
On the geeky side, are you limited to the boilers, sort of more clever boilers than the old crappy ones that we have in the...
I'm so glad you brought this up, right? So we had to, cut different certain sections. So no, actually, the fundamental thing that we're dealing with, and by the way, this gets into the fluid dynamic thing that you brought up earlier. So what we're talking about here is optimizing the stoichiometric ratio, right? And so that's all different types of combustion settings. That's all different types of fuel. And so what you were talking about on fluid dynamic, or you were talking, I'm sorry, I didn't have the good vista over here. But what you were talking about, so those are rules-based, and that's what the problem is, right? When you're imposing rules and generalities, that's where you're losing efficiency. We don't do that. We do a data-driven causal modeling approach that we're able to understand and basically predict inefficiencies before they happen, and that's where we're seeing those massive efficiency gains. And yes, it can be used all across different use cases in combustion.
Hi, so You say you're patent pending currently. Can you go a little bit about what is your patent really covering?
We actually have 3 different ones that we're pursuing.
there you go.
Yeah, so the main thing is really the use of modeling in the combustion process, right? So a lot of times people look at just neural nets when you're looking at machine learning. You don't want to use that in these industrial settings. You have too many false signals and things that can cause a lot of problems. So we've developed an ensemble modeling using time series analysis that really is helping us perform. So we have our patent around that, and then we have patent around trusted AI. So once again, how do you actually verify that the signal's correct so that you're using that in these automated systems? And then also this is a blue ocean strategy for us, right? So a lot of different countries, they don't have the full sensor load that we have here in kind of Western United States or Western world. So like if you're looking at Latin America and Asia. And so for those folks, if you don't have all the sensors, how do we establish how efficient you are to optimize you? So we're using a camera, and then the signal from the camera, so the color coming out of a flame signal is inversely related to the chemicals being absorbed into the reaction. So if we can train a model using just an external camera, we can start to optimize all the people who are now getting emission regulations, didn't have it previously, with something that just cost a couple $100, not $500,000 sensor load. So that's the other third patent.
So who do you consider your biggest competitors, and how are you differentiating?
Great question. Yeah, so Spark Cognition actually did a project. So they were just valued at over $1 billion. And they did a project out in Asia, and they were able to save over $1 million a year. But ultimately, they do everything from like transportation, finance, healthcare. They're a generalist, right? At the end of the day, if you need heart surgery, you don't go to a general practitioner. You go to a specialist. And I think our laser focus on this exact problem means we will always outperform other competitors.
And I'm sorry, would the boiler manufacturers not be interested in making their boilers more efficient on a second-by-second basis?
Great question again. So actually, we're engaging with the operators because they sell these things on 30, 40-year timelines, right? And so once this thing is there, they're actually going to be great channel partners for us to sell through to their customers because they're looking for upsells. And actually, that's one thing. So one thing I just wanted to say to get to fit in the proposal, but like ultimately, the environmental impact of the efficiency gains that we are seeing on just electricity generation would have double the environmental impact of the wind and solar industries combined. It's crazy, right? This needs to be in every combustion facility, and that is my North Star for our path to market, right? So we're leveraging those channel partnerships because I think once we have these different showcase facilities, like here at the Air Force, like at Binghamton University, this thing needs to be in every facility as quickly as possible to help us meet and beat our environmental goals.
Do you have pilots operating now?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Do you have pilots operating now?
We do actually. We're in the control room at the Binghamton University. We hope to be publishing that in the next few months.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we have 11 other ones, but like I said, those are under NDA, so we can't necessarily publish. So we're really excited about these ones that we are able to publish.
But operational pilots that are functioning.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
yeah, we have 11 of those.
What are you learning from those pilots?
I mean, a lot of that, and that's what brings us to the Air Force, right? So a big part of this, right, is just people's comfort with automation, right, and being mindful of that. The models work, but then we have to deal with the human factor that these are people's jobs. This has been their expertise kind of thing, right? So how do we ingratiate them into the process so that it's like, hey, we're here to help you meet and beat your old high score, right? And I think that's the thing that we're really learning, or what are the steps in the process that people feel like they're involved and they're bought into it so that they're excited about it. And that's been the really good learning lessons in the last year, and I think that's really going to accelerate our growth into the future.
What's the, investment a company has to make? How much compute power? I mean, is it expensive to outfit?
No, I mean, this is why the ESCO model. So the ESCO model is the energy service company. So basically, we assume the upfront cost, and then we get a % of the savings. So often this is somewhere between 30 to 50%. So we're on the low end of that. But the great thing is that a lot of it is just kind of like man hours, right? So we're able to take the data, we're able to spin up a digital twin of it, so we understand the causal relationship, and then we deploy it. And then with every new client that we are working with and we're getting more data, we're getting more efficiency because you're getting a transfer learning. So the upfront costs are super low. It can be done ideally in a day using their existing equipment. And this is what makes it so ideal for companies that are trying to find ways to reduce their emission without breaking the bank. I can hear you, it's fine.
So have you had any discussion, are you considering or had any discussions about co-development with any of the boiler makers or anything like that?
You know what? I think the ideal thing is because we don't really want them to take ownership of it. Ultimately, we don't want this to just be a GE offering. We want this to be for everything, right? So I think leveraging a channel partner versus kind of like a research partner, I think more agnostic groups like the Air Force make much more sense as kind of reputable research partners for us. And then once we have that, then we use them to get it out to all the different industries. Certainly, yeah. I mean, if that's something you have experience with, I would love to chat with you. And by the way, I mean, we are fast growing our team. So if what we are talking about resonates with you, come find me afterwards. Or if you know somebody who we should be talking to, we are trying to grow our team to meet the demand for this as quickly as possible. And I use all the brains I have and all the brains I can borrow. So please.
Thank you, Aiden.
Thank you. Sure.
Thank you, ThermoAI, Aiden. Final round of tech trivia has more to do with our region. Central New York's Mohawk Valley region, and ESD folks don't get to answer this one because I know you know the answer. How many counties with nearly 200 communities and upwards of 1 million residents? How many counties? What do you think, Colonel? You got one. 5. All right, Colonel says 5. 4. 2. 6. I didn't hear the right answer yet. 9. Mike Joe says 9. Nope. Who said it? Who said 7? Who said 7? Was it Cully? Oh, Quantarian team. Oh, Steve. All right, Steve's the winner. 7 counties. All right, so our judges are going to finish up. Right now, I'm going to invite everyone back into the hive out there for some networking, some food and beverages as our judges deliberate to make the big decision. And we'll reconvene back in here at 7 o'clock. Nice job, everybody. Thank you. Beautiful job. We'll see you at 7 o'clock. Thanks, everybody. I hope you had fun out there. Those rice balls were amazing, right? Some of Mohawk Valley's finest delicacies. I think we're ready for the big show. So unexpectedly, I think most folks know, if we didn't say it at the outset, tonight we have $300,000 to invest in these companies. And our judges, in their infinite wisdom, went back and deliberated and determined that that should be allocated to 2 companies. So we're going to start. I think Colonel Garcia, you're going to help me do the honors on number 1. So effectively a second place award for $100,000 is going to be presented to Cyberspara.
Please come forward. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Feel free to power. Go ahead. Okay. Woo! Dan Fadden for the loudest popper award. Excellent. Congratulations, Cyberspara. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. A few more choice poses. Excellent. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm covered in glitter. All right. So for the big show, you ready? Colonel, you ready? Isn't this exciting? Is this the first time you ever handed out a giant check? It's pretty cool, huh? It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. All right.
This is going to be evidence on the newspaper.
Absolutely. Okay, now for the big one. The big winner of $200,000 this evening goes to ThermoAI.
Come on down. All right. All right, judges, ready for the 3, 2, 1. Woo! Woo! It is the Air Force. Here we go. Oh, we haven't done. could also have our judges join the picture, please. Any of the judges that are here, thank you for your time and help. Also our supporters from Empire State Development. Congratulations to the ThermoAI team. Thank you to all our judges and supporters. Plenty of picture time. Here we are. For the audience who may be wondering, that check, while it looks like poster board, is actually made of rubber, because that check will bounce. All right. Would you like to say anything?
You want to say something? Yes.
Here you go.
Please. Just really quick, we are honored, we are humbled, and we are going to work hard every day to make sure we deserve it. Thank you all.
Thank you, Aiden. Everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you for being here.